Okay, this is chapter 8, which is managing money. So, we've already talked about investing money, different ways to invest, and how to calculate interest. We've already talked about borrowing money, so credit cards, loans, calculating interest on that. And so this is just different types of accounts and budgeting and that kind of thing. So again, getting started, just some of the concepts that you'll end up using in this unit. So first is converting a percent to a decimal. You've done this a number of times in this course and previous. So remember, you're really just dividing by 100. The percent symbol, so the percents go away. It moves the decimal 2 to the left, so it's 0.75. 2 to the left, 0.10, but you don't have to show the 0 afterwards if it's a decimal. 2 to the left here, it's still like this percent is a decimal, so it still is a decimal, but it's just got more digits because of that. Over D, 2 to the left, 0.20 or 0.2. 2 to the left, 0.35. 2 to the left, 0.012. So just move that decimal to the left and fill in with a 0. Or if you have a calculator, divide by 100. So match each calculation with the dollar value. So some you might be able to do in your head. Notice how they all have 35 or some version of that. So if you think about multiplying 7 by 500, you get 3,500, but 7% means you've got to divide that by 100. So it moves the decimal over, so it's $35. Okay, but if you're not sure, then get out your calculator. Next one, so this would be 350,000, move the decimal 2 to the left. So you could even move it on this, so you get 100 times 35 is 3,500. Then here, 5 times 7 is 3,500, kind of like the first, 500. But now, this is already one decimal to the left. Divide by 100 to convert it to a decimal without a percent sign, so really 3 decimal places. So 3.5, which is $3.50. And then this one, if you're not sure what 2.5% of 1,400, well, 2.5 is half of 5%. So you could take half instead of doing, so you could do 5% of 7,000. But maybe let's use our calculator just to make sure, because it's a tougher one. So 2.5 divided by 100. I do that one step, and then times by 14,000. 350. Kind of makes sense. It's the last one there anyway. Okay, Leah lives in Kelowna. She works at a local restaurant from Friday to Sunday. The chart shows the hours Leah worked in one weekend. Complete the chart. So Friday 6.5, Saturday 7.5, Sunday 6. So how many hours did Leah work at the restaurant? So add those up. So again, you can use your calculator if you need to, but you do the whole numbers first. So 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 6 is 19. And then a half an hour and a half an hour is a whole, so 19 plus 1 is 20. So Leah's paid $9.25 per hour. So this, remember, the workbooks were made originally a few years ago, a number of years ago, and so minimum wage is now obviously more than $9.25, but the way to calculate hasn't changed. So how much did she earn this weekend? So that would be 20 times $9.25. You can get out your calculator. 20 times $9.25 is 185. Okay. Hannah listed some of her expenses. What is the monthly cost for each? So just a reminder, on the left, there's 12 months in a year, and bi-weekly means every 2 weeks. And so remember, there aren't exactly 4 weeks in a month. So there are exactly 52 weeks in a year. And so every 2 weeks, if we divide that by 2, we get 26 bi-weekly payments. So I think we'll need to use them over on the right here. So it says Hannah listed some of her expenses. What is the monthly cost? So if you're given the yearly amount, monthly, you divide by 12. So 840 divided by 12 is $70 a month. Okay, groceries, $120 a week. So convert that to a year. So we'll multiply by 52 weeks in a year. So 120 times 52 is 6,240. Now to get monthly, we divide that by 12. As I mentioned, there aren't exactly 4 weeks in a month. So this will be more accurate. So we've got that in our calculator, divide by 12, and that's 520. Just in terms of budgeting and that kind of thing. Car payment is $197.24 bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. This is part of her monthly cost. That's bi-weekly. So we're going to multiply by 26 2-week periods, right, which we calculated up here. And then to calculate the amount in year. So 197.24 times 26 is 5,128.24. And then we'll now divide that by 12 months in the year. Again, this is for her budgeting purposes to see on average how much she spends in a whole month. So now we can take that and divide by 12. $427.35. When we round to the nearest cent. Okay, next page. Aviv is a naturalist tour guide in Churchill. He leads tours to see polar bears and beluga whales. Aviv needs to invest money for times when he is not working. He invested in a GIC. So the principal is 8,000. Rate is 3% per year, calculated with simple interest. Time for 5 years. So how much interest does Aviv earn on his investment? So simple interest, a reminder over here, I interest is the principal times the rate, the yearly rate as a decimal, times the number of years. And that's $1,200. Just a sec here, what's happening? Just want to check this, 0.03, yep, okay. Then total amount of his investment, you add them together. Again, that's there too. So the total amount is the amount invested plus the interest. And so that's 9,200 after 5 years. And that's with simple interest. So the difference between that and compound interest, remember, is compound interest, the calculation, the formula, takes into account that the interest earned after 1 year, or whatever compounding period it is, gets put into that account and it earns interest as well. So Aviv found another GIC that offers him 3% per year, but it's compounded annually. How much would an investment be worth after 5 years? So that's the formula there. So it's going to be a little bit more. So the initial amount invested, 1 plus the interest rate per compounding period. Well, it's annually, so that's going to be 0.03. And then it's compounded 5 times, once a year for 5 years. So on your calculator, you can do it all at once. Bracket 1.03, close the bracket to the exponent 5. Or if you have a scientific calculator, remember you can do the 1.03. You can add that in your head. Raised to the exponent 5, then times by 8,000, and you get the same amount. So $9,274.19. Sorry, and 19 cents. Okay, so you can see by doing a compound interest, he earns, the difference between those is $74.19. By doing nothing, just by choosing the compound interest. So always choose the compound interest account. Question 6, Julie is at her hairdresser's in Maple Creek. Julie has long hair. How much will a cut and a color cost Julie before taxes? So here's the costs. So a cut by itself is 20. Color depends on how long your hair is, typically. So color for long hair is 65. By the way, these are pretty cheap prices. Again, some things have gone up in price. So that would be $85 for a cut and color. She likes to tip 15% for hair services. How much will the tip be? So just the tip. So 15%, so you take that, convert it to a decimal, multiply by 85. So 0.15 times 85, and that's $12.75. Julie would like to buy a can of hairspray for $18. What is Julie's total cost for a visit, including tip, but before taxes? So typically there'd be 5% GST on that, but we're going to not include that. And so the total will be $85 plus $12.75 plus 18. So I've already got the $12.75 in my calculator, so I'm going to put plus 85 plus 18, and that's 115.75. Okay, so that's the end of the getting started, and so now you can go to chapter 8.2.